Okay, first home game of the year on Saturday. A lot of good things in the game. Maybe not quite as clean in some aspects, but more clean in others. I don't think we hit a rhythm and a groove on offense as well as we did the week before. That was evidenced by punting. Well, we punt 4 times, I think, in this past game, where last week we punted once. However, another game of 0 turnovers, which is great. Defense, better tackling. We only missed 4 tackles the entire game, and so that was a step forward in that regard. A few more penalties than we had the week before, so that was something not as clean as well. But overall, we took care of business, came out of the game fairly healthy, and it's now on to Wyoming. Road trip up in Laramie. No stranger to our coaching staff, the place, but I don't know. I would doubt any of our players have played. Well, Justin Stevenson, our receiver, obviously played there, but otherwise, I'm not sure many of our guys have been to Laramie, Wyoming to play a game. So it'll be a new experience for them. But I thought Devin performed well again. He's around 80% completion percentage for the season, which is outstanding. We knew that was something that we wanted to work on, and he worked diligently at that. And then through 2 games, it's only 2 games. You can't get too far ahead of ourselves, but through 2 games, he has definitely made big strides in that regard, as well as protecting the football. So, questions?
This was Justin's question. It said, with Wyoming coming up, what are the challenges that your team faced playing in Laramie?
Well, it's always a hostile crowd. My memory as a player and of coaching there is they'll get after you pretty good. The crowd will, and so it's an environment you got to be able to handle. The elevation for us shouldn't be a big deal. It's a couple thousand feet higher, but we're used to elevation, so I don't expect that to be an issue. We just got to go up there and play our game, play well, and take care of the football, run efficiently. Get chunk yards. That was another thing we did in the game Saturday. We had more chunk yard plays than we did the week previous. I think we had 8 plays of 15 yards or more, and so that was a positive. But we just got to go up and play good football and prepare. And the key will be in the preparation. Monday through Friday is when the games are won or lost, and so we got to have a great week of practice, which we have had the first 2 weeks of the season, and that's just kind of how the season goes. You just show up, care, and repeat. That's how it works.
Has the QB2 spot changed for you? Is Bird that guy, or kind of how do you see that room shaking out right now?
Not necessarily. As we talked last week, Isaac Wilson does have a redshirt year. That combined with wanting to find out more about Bird in life situation has led to what you've seen the last couple weeks. But no, if it was a long-term situation, then I'm not saying that has necessarily changed. But Bird did do a great job. I thought he really handled the offense well. Played a full quarter and a half, 4 for 4, throwing the ball. Had a really nice run on the touchdown run, and really looked poised and did some good things. So it's still a work in progress, but or he is still a work in progress, but I wouldn't say the depth has necessarily changed right now.
Coach, how would you describe kind of the progression of the passing game? There's been a lot of easy checks with Dampier. Just how do you describe the progression over the course of the season?
Yeah, I think it's something that needs to continue to improve. I think it's off to a pretty good start, but not real explosive, I guess is the proper word. We haven't had a lot of explosive plays in the throw game, although Wayshawn's, was a short throw, long run, but he went for 50 plus, and I think he saw some of the speed. Not to change the subject, but Wayshawn has really good speed. He got out on that run as well, 40-something yards in the run. So, but we've got to continue to push the ball up the field more often. I think Noah Benny needs to become a little more involved in that, and that's why he's playing over there a portion of the time is to help us stretch the field vertically.
Coach, you've had plenty of experience playing in Laramie as a player and as a coach.
Yep.
Do you have any memories that maybe stick out as playing or coaching in Laramie?
Well, I know my was it our senior year when I was a player or junior, went up there and got beat in a snowstorm. That was a miserable experience. It was freezing cold, and we lost that game, which we didn't lose a lot of games, but that was one of them. Then coaching-wise, I can't remember what year it was, but we had those flamethrowers, not flamethrowers, but torpedo heaters or whatever they are on the sideline. And my dad was coaching with us at the time and got too close to it, and his pants started on fire. And so we had to douse him with the water and get the pants out. And so that was a fairly light, humorous moment there. But yeah.
Just kind of following up on that, I mean, they don't get a lot of Big 12 teams coming there. BYU went there last year, but this is if they can beat you or give you a good game, this is kind of their season. How do you treat their emotional level's going to be at an all-time high?
Yeah, well, we got to understand that as a team, and we thought we did a good job preparing last week, knowing that Cal Poly was essentially everything to gain, nothing to lose against us, and anytime you take anyone for granted or don't understand the dynamics of the game, then bad things can happen. But our guys are smart guys. They understand exactly what you just said, and we've got to, like I said, prepare with the same intention and the same efficiency and the same work ethic that we have any other game. So it's got to be the case.
And then traditionally, you've had a lot of bell cow backs. One of them was on the sideline the other day, and Zach Moss. What are the advantages of having this 1-2 punch? And Wayshawn was saying they don't have a nickname yet. Do you have anything for them?
I don't have a nickname, but I can tell you that we have had by committee in the past in certain years, and other years, as you mentioned, the lead guy. And really the bottom line is the overall output, and we've rushed for nearly 300 yards both games. And so we're getting what we need right now. And it was good to see, as you mentioned, that Devin did a good job breaking out some runs and avoiding hits. Did a much better job this week of staying out of harm's way than last week, and so that's big to get what we get from him, but yet keep him upright. And so, and it's not just the two running backs. Hunter Andrews gives us some rushing yards. Smith Snowden gives us some rushing yards. Nate Johnson gave us rushing yards. So it's more than just the two guys. But as long as they're 1 and 1A, we'll continue with it. If one of them separates themselves, then we'll go that direction.
After watching the tape, what do you think you need to clean up in terms of coverage heading into conference play?
Too many turning guys loose up the field, and that's due to poor eyes. Eyes, typically you get young defenders, and I consider Jackson Benny a young defender because he hasn't played much game time experience in the defensive secondary, and his eyes got bad on occasion. And that's really the key. The key is disciplined eyes, and particularly in man coverage, because we're a heavy man coverage team. And as soon as you start getting nosy and looking in the backfield, you're going to lose your guy and get separation. And that was the case on just about every route that we turned loose, is because of bad eyes.
You had a couple of people sub out on the offensive line last week. How would you assess, Alex Harrison and the other guys that maybe stepped in while some guys sat out last week?
I thought they did a good job. I thought Alex, first of all, you start with his snaps because he's the center. That's where it all starts. We had clean snaps for the most part in the entire game. Keith Olson is a guy that played a lot in the UCLA game, not necessarily at a guard position, but in what the Rhino or the Gorilla packages that we have. And so I thought they stepped in when pressed into full-time duty and did a nice job.
Going back to Devin Dampier and his progressions, last year obviously he had that touchdown-interception ratio that was the same. Was there any coaching to kind of help him limit that? And because it seemed like there was a few plays on Saturday where he kind of hesitated, didn't hit his guy. Or is that kind of part of that equation, or is it just him developing into who he needs to be?
I think the latter, and I think that he went from his sophomore year to his junior year, and typically you see from year to year, particularly when you're a full-time starter, you get better, and Coach Beck has helped him get better this year, and Devin's made a concerted effort to turn those weaknesses that were there last year into strengths, and so I think it's just a natural progression of a quarterback getting better.
Coach, how would you assess the defensive line, particularly the young freshman tackles so far?
Really good. Pupu Sepulona did a really nice job last week. He got about 15, 20 snaps, made a couple plays. Carson Kafusi the same. But really impressed so far through 2 games with our guys that are playing full-time. Jonah Le'a and Aliki Vimahi. Those guys have done an excellent job clogging up the middle as well as the ends. I mean, the whole front 7 has been really good. We allowed 80-something yards last week and 65 yards the other day. So both games really strong rush defense, which, again, I say it all the time. That's where our defense starts. That's what it's predicated upon is telling the other team you're not going to run the football, at least not effectively.
You wanted to get the receivers more involved. Ryan Davis had 6 catches. Tobias had 3. Were you happy with how they were more involved?
It was a step in the right direction. I still think, oh, we weren't done.
No. I was telling them I got one more after this.
Oh, double question. Okay, yeah, I think that we took a step forward in that regard. Still need more production. J.J. Buchanan was really under the weather in that game and not himself. You know, when he gets back, hopefully this week, and is himself, that gives us another weapon. And like I mentioned, Jackson Benny has got to become more featured to get that where it needs to be.
And then is the pizza going to be a regular thing now?
Pizza's a regular thing, right, Elena? Every week. Every week. So, yeah, any particular requests, get with Elena. Could even add wings, maybe. They get kind of messy, but yeah.
Yeah, we appreciate it. That's
You
for
bet.
Sure.
Our
John
pleasure.
Henry Daly seems to be like he's really energized this year. What
Yeah.
have you seen from him so far this year?
Exactly that. Tons of energy. He loves the game. Nobody loves football more than John Henry Daly. He's the same way at practice every day. He's excited about practice. He's upbeat. He's a great leader for us, and he has really developed over the course of the last year into a really good player. And you've seen him make. I think he's leading our team in sacks right now, and he's a guy that has one speed. He's all out every single snap, and he's, like I said, he's a fun guy to be around. And really has done a great job for us through the first 2 weeks of the season this year.
John O'Hall had a big game on Saturday. How have you seen him take the necessary strides to, be that impact player from, this time last year to now?
He's doing exactly what we hoped he would do when we made the move from safety. As you recall, he was a safety when he first got here. Kept getting bigger and bigger, but that didn't surprise us because we knew he had the frame. And when we recruited him, that was in the back of our mind was, hey, this guy can slide forward and become a really athletic linebacker. He's done exactly that. He's exactly where he needs to be physically. He's 230 pounds. He runs really well, and he's just becoming more and more comfortable as the weeks go by as a linebacker, and he's got good instincts to begin with. He has really good football instincts, but he has done a really good job transitioning to that position. Coach Colton Swan has done a great job of developing him, and you're right, he was our impact player. He was the player of the week for us in-house last week against Cal Poly, and that was a heck of a play he made. We matched the hand and tipped the ball and kept it alive and intercepted, almost scored with it, but and then he did a lot of really good things in addition to that. He's his run fits, his pass drops. He's becoming a fine linebacker. He's got a bright future.
Coach, with the way that recruiting has changed, with the emphasis now being on the summer recruiting months, what is it like in season now compared to what it was a few years ago?
Good question. It's a lot less visits. In fact, we have 0 visits scheduled as of this point in time. I'm sure we'll come up with a few during the in-season, but as of now, we have nothing scheduled, and we had 60 visits in the summertime, and so it has done a complete transition, and not everybody, but 98% of the guys are going on the summer visits and making their decision early, and there's still a few stragglers who change their mind late or still haven't made that decision, but it has really changed the timing of recruiting. It's the same, the official visits are the same, it's just at a different time of the year, and I like it better now because it doesn't, it gets really hectic when you're trying to prepare for a game and all that, and still entertain and have official visits because that's time consuming as well.
And just to clarify, the 0 visits are official visits scheduled.
Correct. Yeah, we have tons of unofficials. Yeah, guys coming to the games each week, but as far as having the official 48-hour visit, and that is right now there's nobody scheduled. All right. That's a good. Thank you, guys.